Baby, it went down tonight on Joseline's Cabaret, New York. You better believe we're gonna talk about it. Welcome back to the Joseline's Cabaret, New York after show, only on Damien After Dark. If you're new here and you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a beat. If you want to support the channel, I'd appreciate it so much. Press that thumbs up button right below this video down there. And when you click the thumbs up button, that is your way of supporting, and it helps me get into the algorithm. If you want to take it a step further, you can donate in the description box below. I will have ways that you can donate to the channel as well as my Amazon wish list. Thank you in advance to everybody who does donate, sends cash apps and all that good stuff. Love you guys so much. Last but not least, join the conversation. I want to hear what you have to say about this episode because a lot happened, right? A lot happened. We know that back in June this summer, the infamous Joseline video of her fighting Big Lex leaked online. And then shortly after that, we saw the body cam footage of Joseline attacking the police and calling them homophobic slurs. You know, if you missed it, you can go back and catch up. I did some videos this summer when this happened. You can go back and check it out on the channel where we talk about that. We look at some of the footage of that. All that played out on tonight's episode. So we're going to talk about it, okay? Before we get into what am I saying? Before we get into that, let's start at the top of the episode and we will work our way into the fight of it all, okay? So the episode starts and we see Egypt and T-Love out on the swing. They're talking outside, catching up, and T-Love tells Egypt that her and Wet Wet sat down and talked and that they're cool now. And T-Love says, I respect her now, and all this different shit. And it's like, I'm glad they talked. I'm glad they squashed their issues. But let's call a spade here. Let's not pretend, T-Love, that you weren't bullying this girl. She checked your ass and all of a sudden you respect her. Anybody else notice that? It's like when you stand up to a bully and the bully leaves you the fuck alone because they know you about that life and you ain't playing around. That's what it was giving me in this scene with T-Love and telling Egypt about Wet Wet and how she respects her now. I would respect her too if she clocked me upside my head after I ran my mouth. Okay. Now, let's talk about Daisy and Egypt because we know Egypt sent Daisy to the hospital when she busted her head open. So while Egypt and T-Love are talking about the whole Wet Wet situation, then they bring up Daisy and Egypt's fight. Because we know Daisy and Egypt had their whole altercation. They had their whole drama, which ultimately, when I think about it, I'm Team Egypt. I'd love to hear from you guys with whose side you're on when it comes to Daisy and Egypt. Only because, for those who don't know, Egypt swung on Daisy because Egypt felt like Daisy was being messy, right? So, let me make sure I get this right. Egypt said that T-Love was bullying, right? And Daisy went to tell T-Love that your friend Egypt was saying that you're a bully. Now, the reason why I'm Team Egypt is because I don't feel like we can say that Egypt is T-Love's ride or die, right? Because these girls just started filming this show. They've been in the house a week. So how can you say, oh, your girl is out here calling you a bully? Your girl is out here talking shit about you. This ain't my girl. We just met. Yeah, I might be cool with this girl. Yeah, I might have just met her and we vibe. But if you're a bully, if I feel like you doing bully type shit, if I feel like you picking on people, I'm going to call that out, right? So that's why I say in this situation, I'm on Egypt's side because Daisy was being messy. Let's be real. She was. And she got clocked for it. She got her head busted open for being messy. Because you thought she was going to go tell T-Love that, hey, your friend out there, she don't have your back. Your friend out there is calling you a bully. And you thought that T-Love and Egypt were going to get into it and you were going to start some shit and get some points for starting shit. But it backfired on Daisy. Because Egypt's like, what do you mean? This girl, I like T-Love, but it's not like she's my best friend. I just met her. If she's bullying, right? And I'm curious to hear what y'all think about that situation. So let me know in the comments if you're Team Daisy or you are Team Egypt. Now, while Joseline and her chosen four are opening for Floyd Mayweather in Miami, the rest of the girls are going to stay home, of course, and they're going to watch the fight and the performance back at the house from the TV. And one of the girls asked Holiday, the girls were sitting there talking. I think it was Slim that asked her. I forgot which girl it was, but they asked Holiday, we noticed yesterday we were all drinking and partying, but you weren't drinking. Is there a reason why, you don't drink? And Holiday brings up a car accident that she had in 2015. And if you remember at the end of last week's after show, I told y'all next week we're going to see where one of the girls had an accident and they ran over somebody. And apparently that was Holiday all along. She was the one who had the car accident. Now, Holiday says she was working at the King of Diamonds, which is a strip club in Miami. I believe it's Miami. She was working at King of Diamonds, and she said she left out of the parking lot and was moving too fast to get to her ex. And she said all she can remember is when she opened her eyes, she had hit a light pole. And she had no idea at that point that she had hit a person. Now, not only did she hit a person, she took someone's life. So she's leaving work. According to her, she's had some drinks because that's why she's saying she doesn't drink anymore. So she's leaving the strip club. She's had some drinks. She's mad at her ex-boyfriend, her boyfriend at the time, trying to get home to him, pissed. I know someone else who was in a similar situation where this happened to them. Had a wreck, killed 4 people, did time in prison. Like, it was crazy, right? So this same thing happened to Holiday. She was leaving work. She was drunk. She had a car wreck, and she hit someone, and she took someone's life. Now, she said someone lost their life, and she was ready to take whatever consequences that she had to take. She was ready to face the music. She said she turned herself in. But the family stepped in. The family of the victim, of the person that she ran over, or the person that I don't know if the person got ran over or if it was a car accident and the person lost their life that way. But Holiday says that the family stepped in and was like, jail time is not what she needs. They said that she needs some type of rehabilitation. Holiday says that she did a lot of community service and that she did 3 years of house arrest. I was in awe of this story, okay? For a few reasons, I was in awe of this story. Number one, because of her bravery. Now, I know a lot of y'all are probably thinking, bravery? What bravery? She hit somebody in her car while drunk. How is that brave? Only because it takes a lot of courage to admit that, to admit your wrongs, to admit what you did, right? And not only that, you're doing it on TV for all these people to judge you. She's telling this story. You got people who are going to judge you and look at you sideways like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like it was brave and it took a lot. Because I don't get vibes from Holiday that she's an awful person. She doesn't, to me, honestly, she's become one of my favorites, one of my favorite cast members on this show. And number two, it's crazy to me that this happened because she was drinking. But it's crazy to me that she did not do jail time. That blows my mind. Because I'm sorry, but if it was my family that this happened to, I don't know if I'm going to have enough empathy, sympathy, or whatever for you to say, don't give them jail time. They just need rehabilitation. If this happened to my family, I'm probably going to want you to go sit down and do some time for that. Right? Because when something like that happens, you want somebody to be punished for taking your family away. You want to be able to feel like you got justice for them, right? But I don't know, maybe the family met with Holiday Maybe they wanted to meet with her and see what kind of person she was, and they felt out this girl, and they realized that this girl was just a young girl in the strip club, made a mistake in her life, a stupid mistake. And maybe they realized, we don't want two lives to be ruined here. We want this girl to get help. We want her to go to rehab, get help, and we don't want to see two lives lost. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what happened. However, I don't think it's right that you just walk away with some community service. Now, she did. Am I wrong for feeling that? Like, I feel like she should have. I mean, look, there's tons of people every day, especially white folks, that get a slap on the wrist for things like this. They get away with stuff because the judge and the jury feel sorry for them, and, they were human, they made a mistake. But it's like, does that mean you can hit someone with your car and get away with it? Now, it's one thing if you hit somebody with your car sober and it's an accident, but when you add alcohol into the picture, it gets tricky. You know what I'm saying? It gets tricky. Holiday says she did 3 years of house arrest and community service. Do y'all think that fits the crime? Because here's the thing for me. I've always been an advocate I've always said, I think that we as a country, hell, as a world, instead of putting a lot of these people behind bars, we should offer house arrest more. Now, I know it's a very expensive thing. I think that's probably the reason why they don't. But jail is not doing a lot of these people any good. It's not. It's not helping them. It's not rehabilitating them. If anything, it makes people worse. So, I mean, house arrest, you're still being punished because you can't go anywhere. Who wants to stay home all the time? So it's a punishment, right? It's a punishment. So, I don't know. Maybe this was sufficient. Maybe this did fit the crime. Considering, okay, let's say this. Had the family not said, we don't want her to go to jail, and they gave this girl 3 years of house arrest, okay, I could see it being terrible. But the fact that the family didn't want this girl to go to jail, and the fact that the judge listened and said, okay, we're not going to send her to jail, but we got to punish her for something, and they gave her the house arrest, I think maybe it worked out in the end. Because who knows? Maybe, I don't know. This is just the whole situation is just sad. Okay, the whole situation is just sad. And had alcohol, like I said, had alcohol not been involved, I would say, yeah, don't give her jail time. It was an accident. But when you add alcohol into it, it makes people look at you selfish. It makes people look at you like it was intentional, right? Do I think Holiday intentionally ran over someone? No, I think it was an accident. But the alcohol, you ain't supposed to get behind the wheel intoxicated, because this is the kind of shit that happens. People lose their lives. People lose their lives. But, I respect that. Honestly, I respect that she's learned her lesson. I respect her for telling her truth and her story. She says that that's why she's made the decision now to not drink, really, because she knows that what happened, she shouldn't be drinking. She knows that she got a second chance at life, and she don't want to fuck that up, right? She says, I don't make the best decisions while drinking. And I respect that. I'm happy for her. I know a lot of people probably think, throw the book at her. She ended a life. But she's human. She fucked up. It's wrong. Yes. As long as the family has made amends and peace with her and they've worked it out, I don't think it's really our place to judge, honestly. Because at first, when I heard her telling it, I'm like, girl, you should have went to jail. But then as she kept going and she told her entire story, I kind of looked at it a little bit different. And last thing I'm going to say about this, then we'll move on. This could happen to anyone if we really want to talk about it. Look, can we be honest for a second? Now, granted, yes, Holiday was drinking, and you don't have to be drinking to have an accident or hit someone, right? That's what I mean when I say this could happen to anyone. You don't have to be under the influence to hurt someone, to run over someone, to have an accident. Honestly, this is one of my worst fears. I don't know about y'all, but one of my worst fears is this happening. It wouldn't happen to me because it wouldn't happen to me drinking and driving, because I don't drink alcohol like that. And if I do drink, it's not enough to feel it, or I'm gonna have somebody else drive. I've never been the type to get behind behind the wheel and drink and drive. It's just never been me. However, it is my worst fear to hit someone sober, because that almost happened to me once. I was leaving the courthouse once. Ironically enough, I was leaving the courthouse because I had a speeding ticket or something. And when I pulled out of the courthouse, I turned and looked, and I saw an older woman, like an old elderly lady, in my rearview mirror behind my car, like jumping back. And I like almost hit her. And I tell you, like, my nerves were such a wreck. I had to pull over because I thought I had like literally hit this woman. I'm like, oh my God, what if I ran over this lady? What if I had, took her life? I would never be able to live with myself. Could you imagine? Like, that's prison enough, knowing that you've ended someone's life, right? And this is like, honestly, this whole scene that we saw with Holiday, this is the type of content that I like to see, because we get to see these women for who they are, what they've been through. We get to see the layers of them. It's not just all the drama and the fighting and the sex and the rock and roll of it all. Also, this is real life. This happens to people all the time. This is a real story. So I enjoyed it. I'm glad she shared it. Regardless, I know it was an awful story with an awful income. Or outcome, not an income, with an awful outcome. However, I appreciate her sharing it. And one of the things Holiday said was, I thank God because so many people went through the same things before and after me, and they weren't so lucky. And she's right. I was stunned when I learned that she got 3 years of house arrest, like, and community service, because most of these judges, most of these juries, most of these families that have went through this situation are not sympathetic to it. And they do not say, don't send them to jail. They throw the book at your ass when you do stuff like this. Holiday says she promised herself and God that she would walk in faith and do the right things because she got a second chance. The scene kind of made me a little emotional. I didn't cry, but I wanted to cry because she was crying, and she's talking about how grateful and humble she is to have gotten a second chance. And I'm just like, oh my God. Now, back in Miami, Miss Natural's talking about she's gotten sick. She woke up puking, but she's here. She's going to perform. She made it. Joseline's in a good mood. She's warm. She's welcoming. She's being nice to the girls. I'm like, okay. And then we see them rehearse. They're getting ready for their performance. When they get to the arena, they head to the arena, they're rehearsing. Then back home, the girls that didn't get to go to Miami, they're throwing a sexy lingerie slumber party / watch party while they're going to watch the girls perform. We see Daisy show up for the first time since Egypt clocked her in the face. And then, did y'all notice back at the arena, backstage, Natural, I don't know if she was just because she was sick. I don't know if she was on her period, PMSing. But this whole season, she's just been like a raging bitch. And she's continuing to be a bitch to Andrea. I feel like they pick on Andrea because they know Andrea ain't the like strongest personality. But y'all better leave Andrea alone. Put the voodoo on that ass. And she's Natural's telling Andrea, you need to walk with confidence. Stop walking like this. Stop doing. Talking to her crazy. And I get. Giving constructive criticism is one thing, but it's how you deliver it. Because if you deliver constructive criticism wrong, it becomes destructive criticism, which is what Natural is doing here. Like, I get it. You have to give tough love sometimes, but if you're just yelling and being a bitch and talking to somebody like a dog, it's not going to be received. Hell, if anything, I'm going to be out there walking on eggshells. Like, am I going to be yelled at? You know what I'm saying? I feel like it would make my performance worse. And, like, Natural, you just turned me off so bad, sis. I used to like you a lot, but you really turned me off. Back home, we get to see T-Love and Wet Wet make up. They hug things out. They move on. T-Love says that she got drunk as fuck the night before and that her and Wet Wet hugged things out and they had a long conversation about their lives. And T-Love says, I do hair for a living, so I got a wig coming for Wet Wet now. We're going to get her a new wig installed. And I'm like, see, This is what you should have did originally. Instead of walking into the kitchen and going guns blazing onto Wet Wet, talking about your hair looks bad, your teeth look bad, your breath stink, you look like shit, whatever she said about Wet Wet. Instead of doing all that you did that turned us viewers off, you should have said, you know what, Wet Wet, I got this wig I'm gonna buy you, and it's coming in, and I want to get it installed, and I want to see how you look in it. That is what girl power is. That's how women uplift other women. Because T Love, what she did, she thought she was being cute when she came in, bullying, and it backfired, and wasn't nobody really fucking with her. And now she trying to pussy pop and backpedal that shit back. Now, Joseline and her girls get on stage, and the performance starts. We see them performing. And the first thing I noticed when the performance starts is that Joseline wasn't even performing. You know, and it says, I don't know the words. The beginning, y'all know. This part. Instead of Joseline singing that part, instead of her doing the mic and singing, she's up here like, while the music is playing in the background. The music's playing in the background. It's like, are you lip syncing? Like, I know artists perform to a backtrack a lot. A lot of artists will perform to their music playing in the background, right? But Joseline, like, she didn't perform until like halfway through the song. I'm just like, you just gonna let you, like, what's going on here? What's going on here? Now, when it comes to the girls in the cabaret who are dancing, when it comes to them, the ones that Andrea, Yummy, Danny, Natural, when it comes to them, the only one that I saw really who was off most of the time, I want to say most of the time, but the one to me that really stood out who was not doing her job was Yummy. Can we talk about it? Because I was shocked, because isn't Yummy supposed to be one of the best dancers here? We see later in the episode, Joseline names her as her dance captain, and I'm very shocked. But you was all over the place, babe. Go back and rewind, y'all. Go back and watch the performance, and you will see what I'm talking about. Yummy was all over the place. And my thing is, how do y'all not know this dance when y'all are actually there in the show, in the house, rehearsing this every day? How do y'all not know the dance by now? And us viewers at home know the dance. You got people on TikTok doing the full dance. I mean, it really is simple. Get jiggy with it. Get. You know what I'm saying? Like, then get on. You know, I could do the whole thing. How do y'all not know the dance? I'm shocked. Now, Ricardo, is that his name? Ricardo? I forget his name. The choreographer, he said it looked great, right? But he says he saw everyone make a mistake except Danny. And I have to agree with that. Now that I think about it, I think I saw Miss Natural maybe once or twice slip up. Andrea, I think, was watching the other girls a lot. Yummy was one who was really watching the other girls. Like, one of the girls would do a move and Yummy would, like, do the move delayed. Like, she'd see a girl do this and then all of a sudden she would do that. Like, she wasn't in sync with the other girls. Yummy wasn't. Shit, Joseline, you should have just flew me to Miami. Fly me and 3 other fans to Miami and we'll do the damn dance, because these girls couldn't do that. I mean, Danny was the only one who hit every single move from what I saw. Now, did y'all see back home the girls watching from the TV? And you got Wet Wet out here with Paris in London, her titties out. Not only that, her pussy was out. She had her pussy straight out. Yay! Cheering. I'm like, and then Zeus gonna blur it. Zeus gonna blur her little coochie out. Why y'all blurring it? Hell, y'all show everything else. Y'all might as well show the Tootsie Cat. And now I know what we saw on TV from the performance. Zeus made it look really good. right? It looks good from the TV. But if you watched it from people who were there from their phones, or if you watched it from the Zeus pay-per-view when Zeus aired it on their app, which I don't know who all watched it because they were charging like damn near $100 just to watch it. No thanks. Um, that was the fight, the performances, and all that. But yeah, if you actually saw the real raw footage, it was a hot mess. Joseline's performance was, Blueface and Krishan, they performed there. It was all a hot fucking mess. Sounded awful. Everybody all over the stage, a mess. Like, I'm sure you can find footage of it out there if y'all want to go see it. More so of Joseline and her vocals and how it sounded than it did visually with the dancing, but still, it was a mess. Now, Joseline pulls the girls to the side after her performance and tells them, you know, did y'all see Big Lex? Big Lex was here in the front row. So, we all know this is where the infamous Big Lex beatdown happens, right? This is where the arrest happens. This is where the beatdown happens. This is where Joseline attacks the police and calls them homophobic slurs. So much happened this night. Before we get into that, though, why the fuck was Yummy wearing a ski mask in her confessional? Y'all see her? She looks crazy. Yummy, you look crazy. This is a confessional. Like, why are you wearing this ski mask and this vest like you fixing to go rob a Bank of America? Girl, if you don't get a stylist to do something with them wigs and that shit you be wearing, this looks a hot damn mess. Now, Joseline, after the show, you know, she hugs Yummy. She says, thank you, Yummy. Thank you. You know, I'll follow you on stage. I'll follow what you're doing. And, you know, the girls feed off of your energy, Yummy. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm just saying. Y'all should be following Danny because Yummy was making the mistakes left and right. And I'm not hating. Y'all can go back and watch. Because if Yummy did her thing, I would give her flowers. But she didn't do... Like, she was landing moves late. She was watching the other girls. She's not in sync. Now, as I told y'all earlier, Joseline ends up making Yummy her dance captain, which I was shocked by. And she tells her, you know, I want you to stay out of the drama. I want you to be my brain. I want you around. And I'm like, obviously, Joseline didn't see what I saw. I don't know. Am I the only one? Did y'all see what I saw? Yummy was not giving, in my opinion. I'm just confused why she's the dance captain. To me, Danny deserved it. And if y'all notice, remember, even on the private jet, Natural got pissed because she said, I feel like you're trying to take my spot, Danny. You got the presidential suite. We didn't see that on the show. They didn't show us that. Natural let us know that. So that obviously tells me that they've noticed that Danny is a good dancer, that she's got some strengths when it comes to dancing. So I don't get why she's not the dance captain, to be honest. I don't think Natural or Yummy should be the dance captain. Ricardo, or whatever his name is, should have chose the dance captain. And y'all notice we've seen a different side of Joseline this episode. Like, it's, well, until the end, okay? I say that, and then the end happens, and she goes back to Puerto Rican princess. But the way she embraced Yummy in that scene, the way she treated her in that scene, I'm like, and just like how she did Lucky last week or the week before when she embraced Lucky. It's like, why can't you embrace and uplift all the girls like this? I don't know if Joseline's got split personality disorder. I don't know if she's just a crazy ass Gemini like me. I don't know if she just is bipolar. I don't know what's going on, but one minute she's raised. We know what it is. I don't even know why I'm sitting here speculating. We know what it is. Allegedly. Because one minute she's sweet, as we see, and then she rages and she turns into the Hulk, like we see at the end of this episode. Now, midway into the episode, we see the following pop up on the screen. Let's show it. Now I'm not going to show that footage of the fight happening at the arena, because if I would love to do it, y'all, but if I do it, my video will get demonetized. So pretty much what happens is when Floyd Mayweather and whoever he was fighting finished their fight, apparently their entourages started fighting, and it was just chaos, fights happening all throughout this arena. And they said, as you saw, that it spilled out throughout the arena. But what I took that as was that the energy probably was, I told y'all, energy transfers. If there's a fight going on, people around you are going to want to fight too. And I think that's what happened. But also, we know that Melissa and Ballistic and Joseline and all them allegedly got into a bag of that good Miami 305 Coca-Cola. And they were, all of them like this. Running around that fucking arena like this. All of them. I mean, we went from seeing Joseline being sweet, calm, cool, collected, talking to Yummy to like this right here. Am I lying? Did y'all watch the same thing? Am I lying? If you want to go see all this, like the physical altercation, the fight between Big Lex, which they showed some of it on the episode, but it's all out there online if you want to go see it. And if I was Big Lex, honestly, in this moment, Big Lex has been quiet, if y'all notice, because of this whole situation. And she's doing the right thing. And if I was her, I would be doing the same thing that she's doing, which is probably suing their asses for every quarter she can get, okay? Now, Big Lex, we can say this. She went after Big Lex was on season 2 of Joseline's Cabaret. She talked a lot of shit online. She did. She talked about, when I see you out, I'm going to do this, Joseline. When I see you at and then when she sees Joseline out, Joseline gives her the business. Now, in Big Lex's defense, we know that Joseline had her entourage. She had Ballistic there. She had Melissa there. She had the Cabaret girls there. She has Zeus Security there. So would Big Lex would have really had a fair fight ever? No. So that's why I can't blame Big Lex in this situation. And why I have to tell her I would sue. I would sue. Oh my God, I would sue. So bad, okay? Not only that, I'd sue Joseline. I'd sue Ballistic. I'd sue the Zeus Network. I'd sue the arena. I'd sue Lamel Plummer, the owner of the network. Hell, I'd sue his goddamn wife. Everybody going down. Everybody that was there is getting a motherfucking lawsuit, right? But here's my thing. Joseline, you got too much to lose. Big Lex don't have as much to lose as Joseline. So that's why she's got the upper hand in this situation. I probably would have said, let her beat my ass too. Because at the end of the day, Big Lex is going to have the last laugh. Because going to court and saying, well, Your Honor, she was on social media talking shit. Judge and jury, she was online talking shit. So when I saw her, I finally beat her ass. That's not going to hold up in court, baby. They're going to side with this video footage that will be played in court, I'm sure. Where you and Melissa and Ballistic and the rest of y'all looking like a wild pack of hyenas are attacking this girl while she's exposed, titties out. I don't care who you are, what team you're on. It was difficult to watch that video footage of Joseline attacking Big Lex. And what a lot of us didn't know, we already talked about that, sorry. That's about the entourages fighting and whatnot. And so, like I was telling y'all earlier, I don't care what nobody says, okay? I don't care what nobody says. Joseline was allegedly, we're going to say allegedly, this is my opinion. Joseline was allegedly higher than Cuda Brown that night. I think she did a few bumps, put some on her nail, whatever. I think she did that after her performance. After the scene with her and Yummy, and she tells Yummy she wants to be dance captain. Because she seems cool, calm, normal there. It's after that. If you notice, she's changed. In that scene with Yummy, she's wearing something different than what she's wearing when she's fighting everybody. She's changed. She done got the coke through her system, allegedly. She ready to go. She ready to go, right? But, if she looks crazy. That whole fight, if you watch it, you see her, and she's screaming at people, fuck you, motherfucker, and the shit she's doing, she looks possessed. She looks crazy. I mean, running around, barefoot, makeup smeared, looking a mess. Hot mess, crazy. And if you watch the video, even Ballistic is high as a kite. His eyes like this, him screaming, "Rah!" like a crazy madman. Everybody just high as hell, walking around. Did y'all hear, if y'all noticed too, when they're playing that footage of Joseline fighting Big Legs, in the background, there's a girl that says, "Is that Joseline? Bitch, that's Joseline. I'm terrified." Oh. Big Legs got a payday coming. Mark my words. All they need is this footage in court, and it's over. Because Big Legs didn't look like the aggressor to me. Looked like Joseline was. She was jumped by Joseline in the Cabaret circus, the circus animals. And my thing is, I want to know this: how did Zeus get that cell phone footage? The people that filmed that footage, did y'all pay these people who filmed that? Or is it free game since it's out there on the internet? I don't know. I want to know. You know. Now we see Miss Natural, because all the Cabaret girls were there while this was going down. And we see Miss Natural in a confessional say, "I'm not about jumping people. That's dead." And she's right. I agree with Miss Natural 1000%. But when Joseline sees that, you can guarantee, Miss Natural, you're going to be axed. You're not going to have nothing to do with the Cabaret no more, because you're not being a yes man in this moment. Y'all know Joseline likes yes men around her. And right now, Miss Natural's telling the truth. Jumping ain't right. But if you're not going to bob your head to Joseline and tell her she's right, and two, Joseline is going to look at it like Miss Natural is defending Big Legs. Because in her confessional, Miss Natural says, "I'm cool with Legs." I'm like, okay, it's over for you, because according to Joseline, Big Legs is the ops. And you ain't supposed to be fucking with the ops, Miss Natural. Now, backstage, before Joseline gets arrested, we see her hugging Melissa and saying, I'm sorry, Melissa." And Melissa's got a white rag, a washcloth, covered in blood. I mean, covered in blood. And Melissa and Ballistic, y'all should have gone to jail too. They should have went to jail too, because y'all, what do you like to call it? Aiding and abetting. You aiding this girl, you helping her out, while y'all jump this girl. And then y'all got Joseline holed up in a room, trying to, keep her in a room so the police or nobody will know what's going on, or see her or find her or anything like that. Aiding and abetting. Is that the right charge? I don't know. Melissa and Ballistic need to go for something, because y'all contributed to that. Now, while Danny is getting hauled off in a stretcher, Danny's getting hauled off in a stretcher because she did something to her knee during all this craziness that happened. While that's going on, we see Joseline over here watching the cell phone footage of what just happened. She's watching the cell phone footage of her whooping Big Leg's ass, and she's sitting there talking about, "Look how I got that bitch. Look how I got that bitch." And if y'all watch her, y'all be really like, if you went back and watched, notice how she's going, "Look how I got that bitch. Look how I got that bitch. Look, look how I got that bitch. Look how I got her." Oh, you got her all right. You got her. And she got that pocketbook. Big Legs got that pocketbook. Hashtag, was it worth it, Dumbo? Was it worth it? Because it may not have hit your pocketbook yet, Joseline, but that lawsuit ain't finalized. That's what the problem is. The lawsuit ain't finalized yet. Now, the police come to the door. We see the police on the outside of the door. Joseline's trying to go out the door. You know, she's trying to make things worse. Let me go out here where the police are. I'm already wanted. Let me go out here where the police are. But Ballistic won't let her. You know, he's trying to stop her. You can't go outside. So Ballistic goes out there where the cops are and he shuts the door. Now, Danny is trying to hold the door with Melissa. She's trying to hold, I don't know how she went from the stretcher to guarding the door. She must not be too hurt. And her and Melissa are trying to block Joseline from leaving. Now, somebody please tell me that Danny was not calling Joseline mom. Did y'all notice that? So go back and rewind it if you want. If you want to go watch and see, it happens at 43 minutes and like 8 seconds. 43 minutes, 10 seconds, somewhere around there. Danny is holding the door, and Joseline's trying to get out the door, and Danny is saying, "Mom, mom, mom, mom." I'm like, "Mom? Mom, I know you ain't drank that much Joseline Hernandez Kool-Aid that you calling this girl mom." I can't. Really? I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and say she was saying something else, but it vividly looked like mom. Mom. It sounded like mom. Mom. Now, this is when we see Joseline telling the police, if y'all remember the body cam footage, you remember seeing Joseline saying, "Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't let that fucking white man touch me. Don't touch me, white man. Don't put your fucking white hands on me." If y'all remember that in the body cam footage, they play this on the episode tonight in real time. And, you know, Joseline's making matters worse. I mean, the police are already looking for you, and now you've done brought yourself to them, and you're telling them, "Don't touch you, take me to jail, fuck you, fuck, you know, this, and this." Ballistic is yelling at Joseline at this point and trying to get her the hell away. Because I think that Ballistic honestly was trying to keep her separated because he knew that this situation was already bad. He knew that somebody was going to jail. He knew that potential lawsuits were coming. He knew that they had too much to lose. So he's trying to get her the fuck away from this situation right now. And I've never seen Ballistic be so, like, aggressive with her like he needs to be. Because usually he lets her run over him. But in this moment, he was actually checking her. Like, sit the fuck down. I don't know if it was the Coca-Cola. Allegedly, or what. But it don't matter. It don't matter what Ballistic did. It don't matter how much white police cock Ballistic tried to suck at that moment. Joseline was going to say and do what Joseline wanted to do. Okay? But I do admire him trying to de-escalate the situation. I do admire him trying to, you know, look after his girl. Now, if you want to, like I said, if you want to see the entire body cam footage of Joseline attacking the police and them calling them homophobic slurs, it's on my channel. I will put the link in the description below if you guys want to check out that video that we did a few months ago right here on the channel. I do want to hear from you guys on what you thought about this crazy episode. Join the conversation and get in those comments and let me know. What did you think about Holiday sharing her story of having an accident, a car accident, and taking someone's life? I'd love to hear from you guys on what you thought about that. Do you think her punishment fit the crime? Her getting three years of house arrest and community service. I want to hear from you guys, so make sure you join the conversation. Also, let me know what you thought about Joseline and the girls' performance in Miami. Do you think they nailed their performance? Who do you think was the best dancer? And who do you think was the worst in that situation? Also, how do you feel about the Joseline and Big Lex situation? Whose side are you on, Joseline or Big Lex? And do y'all think Joseline did too much while attacking all those people at that arena? I want to hear from you. Like I said, make sure you join the conversation below. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button right below this video down there and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a beat. Last but not least, if you don't mind supporting the channel, all you have to do is click the thumbs up button. It's right below this video as well. liking this video, clicking the thumbs up button will get us in the algorithm, and I appreciate that so much. If you want to take it a step further, you can support by donating to Damien After Dark. I will put ways that you can donate in the description box below using PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, or Zelle. You can also go to my Amazon wish list if you would like. I will link that in the description. Also, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, and we'll see you next time on Damien After Dark. See ya.